how to treat an opioid overdose. We learned about Narcan and the distribution of it. Narcan is a drug that is solely and only used to counteract opiate overdoses. If I had some, I could spray it up my nose right now and it would do absolutely nothing because I have no opiates in my system. Now, for the viewers who've watched me before, you know I have, on the 23rd of this month, I have 10 months sober from intravenous heroin use. Intravenous meaning injected. Injected it right here. And the meeting tonight was mind-blowing. Aside from the speaker who, was teaching us about the Narcan and how to do it, and you can register and get Narcan to have, I was dealing with an upset youth at the time, so I didn't get to enroll. But I will be. I will be enrolling, so I have it. I have no intentions right now of relapsing, but, I take it day by day, and I want to have it because if, I relapse, hopefully I don't. I know I probably won't, but I want to have it so if, if the one time I relapse it ends up being an overdose, my friend, I'll teach my friends, my closest friends, on how to do it. That way they can help me. That is weird. Why does my camera look like it's like buzzing? Weird. Oh, yo, check out my shirt, motherfuckers. Talks about all the different kinds of kush. And check out my wall real quick. Almost that entire wall is covered, my niggas. Looks good, don't it? Alright. So, on top of all that, I want to talk about the family part of Nagley. My God, I'm sorry, guys. I was just tired today. So, on that subject. So, these youth at Nagley, now, the age you age out at is 24. You have an adult group too. But, there's kids of all ages in Nagley. There's the lowest age we start at is 12. I don't know. I don't think there was any 12-year-olds there today or whatever. But I think the prime example is the youngest person that was in Nagley today was, I think, 14. And on the subject of this meeting that we were having, my personal trial is very relevant. It was very relevant. And there was a youth having a hard time who brought up his cousin who lives in a household that is a drug abuse household. We'll just call it that. And he worries about his little cousin, and with every right, he worries. And he was asking how, what was the, how will I word this? He was trying to ask about how his cousin is gonna do with, hold on one second, motherfuckers, because there's something on my camera. See if I can get this shit off. There we go. So he was just, asking, how did he word it? He pretty much wanted to know the chance his little cousin had growing up in an addictive household with the addictive personality through her genes, what kind of chance she had to not be addicted to any drugs. And, immediately, well, he asked because I'm trying to think and I'm like so pooped. He asked the speaker about it, and she said she didn't know. And I raised my hand immediately because not only have I had a problem with addiction. But once you're an addict, you're always an addict. You're always in recovery. Now, on top of that, I also, my father has a history of drug abuse. I grew up around my brother, who's not really my brother. He's my second cousin, but I call him my brother, and he is my brother. He, used drugs and stuff. So I grew up around it, at least directly, from at least one person. I know there's other people that I came across. Again, I'm so sorry, guys, for yawning. As a kid that had substance abuse issues, but also my cousin and a couple other people. But I raised my hand and I said, can I answer that? And I pretty much, said it to him like this. If you prove to her and make her know that she could come up to you and tell you she's a terrorist and know that you won't get mad or hate her, and if you support her and if you talk to her and if you make sure you're there for her and you let her know the risks that she faces with the genetic setup she has, and you tell her all this information, and you tell her to be aware of how she is, like how she does everything. Like when I sit down and have a bowl of cereal and then 4 bowls later, I actually do. I stop myself and I'm like, I'm not even hungry anymore. Why am I eating this cereal? It doesn't need to happen. It's an addict behavior. It's addict behavior. And I'll say this to myself out loud. So I pretty much told him, you just need to make it so super clear that she can tell you absolutely anything. And in the end, she will make her own choices. And in the end, her choices could be permanent, but you need to just support her, no matter what. I also told her to tell her to be open to listening, because a main bad thing, well, not bad thing, a main issue with drug addicts is that they're not open to listening. So when you tell them that they have a problem and you tell them that they need to go get help, or you straight up tell them you're addicted to drugs and you're a junkie, they'll come up with because I am a recovering addict, we will come up with every single excuse we can think of to make your argument irrelevant. And, I just I planted those seeds in her head and in his head, and I said, do the same to her. You plant the seeds in her head, all you can do is hope, and all you can do is prepare yourself for whatever happens. Because I will tell you, being addiction tears families apart. Any kind of addiction. Before I started using drugs, I used to hurt myself. I had an addiction to hurting myself. I have scars. I would wear long sleeves in the middle of the summer. And, that's not a drug addiction, but it tore my mom's heart out multiple times. And to this day, she's still, we'll still have conversations, and I'll just, like the one time I tried to commit suicide, and she's like, she gets caught off guard, because most of my suicide attempts, she still to this day isn't aware of. I've had 13 suicide attempts via overdose, slit wrists, or actually, one time I walked into oncoming traffic on the highway. Somehow I didn't get hit. Don't ask. It's like after the 4th time, I should have been like, apparently I'm not going anywhere. But I guess my main thing is that these youth at this place, I spoke up again at a certain point talking about my sobriety, and I got applauded. You get applauded at NA, but it's because in AA because everybody's trying to fight for sobriety. But these are youth that not some of them haven't even come across any kind of drug use, never mind addiction. And the fact that they just, and one girl at the end of the meeting was like, she started crying and she was like, I feel so thankful that I don't have to face anything like this and, whatever else. And she was like sad that she was happy and thankful, but sad at the same time that she couldn't help and she couldn't know how to help. And this was about the drug abuse. And I, after the meeting, I pulled her aside and I go, I know exactly how you feel. Because my parents, my mom, and my dad too, now that I speak to him and stuff, my mom was, my grandmother, my whole family was always super supportive. When I came out as a lesbian first, because I thought I was a lesbian, and then oh my God, I'm sorry. And then at 16 years old, I came out as transgender. Now, I've always had a supportive family, and I felt the same way this girl felt. I still feel sometimes this way, but the fact that I've had such fortune and luck with that and a loving family, it makes you a little sad that, you look at these kids that get kicked out of their house with nowhere to go. They're sleeping on the streets or trying to find friends that'll let them stay over, and only because they're gay or they're trans or they're bi or they're questioning themselves. Or, I've seen this before. A straight kid who came to Nagley loved doing drag. And he was super straight. He had a girlfriend and, he was strictly straight. And what would that... Strictly dickly, but then what would one be for pussy, But his parents kicked him out because they caught him in drag. And he even tried saying, I'm straight. I just like wearing female clothes sometimes. And, he brought up RuPaul, who's straight and married with kids. And it's just so unfortunate. So it's unfortunate. And I just, it was heart-wrenching and so wonderful to know that, I always know that we all love each other in Nagley. We're like a big family, but it when it is reconfirmed like that and it's to the point where she broke down and she was like, I love you guys so much and it is such an honor and privilege to know all of you. And then she came, when we were talking after the meeting, she was like, Dylan, you are one of the strongest people I know and I've ever had the privilege of meeting. And I said, thank you. But, we are all strong here. Whether straight or not, we come here and we risk things coming here. And it was great. Today's meeting was just great. I just love those kids a lot. Those youth. And, yeah. Shit. All right. In the event that I now need my inhaler, still a Milano. Subscribe, comment, do your thing, bitch.